What's up, stand up? This play of the week is check two, go one. Okay, we're going to look at it instead of each individual position, we're going to split it up by offense and defense. Let's talk about the situation first. We got a runner on second, less than two outs. So one out, no outs, same thing in this case. Okay, so take one more look. We got a runner on second base, and then everybody's in normal positions. We're going to look at the offense first. So red is them, blue is us in this case. On offense, we are the runners. Look at the lead runner on second base getting his lead, and then the batter runner, the trail runner, B in the batter's box, and then the rest of the team in the dugout, keeping an eye out for their runners, cheering everybody on. Okay, let's talk about your priorities. Our first one is to stay safe. We've got a lot of inning left. We've got less than two outs, so plenty of time for runner A, who's in scoring position, to make it home. So you got to stay safe during this play, right? This is going to be a hit up the left side to the third base or shortstop. The second objective you want to do is to put pressure on that defense. They're having to throw all the way across the diamond while trying to hold this guy here. So if you are making them think about you, you might be making them mess up the play. And that's good because it gets our runner there, our batter runner to first safely. And then, and only then, if you are stayed safe and put some pressure on, if you can advance to third base, that's your goal as the lead runner at A. Okay, so let's take a look. The pitch goes, you see that A took his secondary lead. That's your first objective there that you got to do. You got to take your secondary, which means you're on second base on your secondary lead, you're far off the bag. Then the hit to the third baseman. Look, everybody is shifting. We'll go over the defense in a little bit. This is about them halfway through the play. They're not all the way in their positions yet. Some of them will make it there. But right now, third base is just fielding the ball. I want you to look and follow the lead runner, runner A. Look at him as the ball is hit. He's got to read that ball and turn his secondary lead into a small retreat back to second base. The third baseman is still far away, so he doesn't have to be all the way on the bag, but he did have to come back a little bit because he's reads that ball. You can't run, right? So you got to recognize that you can't run there and start working your way back towards second base a little. But what you want to start doing is putting the pressure on. So the next step for the defense, the third baseman is going to start looking at this runner. This is check two. Check the runner at two. So he's looking at you to see, can he get you out? Is he making you stop? Because if you just kept running and all he did was throw to first, you get that base free. So he's looking at you. You should be putting the pressure on. A pressure looks like, am I going to go? Am I not going to go? Hey, I'm here. I'm a little far off the bag. Maybe you can get me, but you still remember your number one objective, look up top here, is to stay safe. You don't want to be so far out trying to apply pressure that you get out and make a dumb play. Okay. But I do want to say we're not a clapping team. No need for, all right. They know you're there. You can apply the pressure without those kind of tactics. All right. So next up, they're going to they finish their positioning. So as they throw to third, you need to be fully watching this ball as the lead runner come out of the third baseman's hand and then take off toward third base. As you do it, when you're right about here, you need to be looking at that ball, looking that ball over to first, looking, not watching. You're just seeing, like we check the catcher when we steal the base. We're just seeing, is he going to catch that ball and make a throw over to third? Or did the ball go past him and I need to be rounding third hard trying to score home? Okay, so that's your next secondary action. The other part of this offense, same situation. Okay, we're going to focus on we are blue on the offense. Same goals. Uh, Stay safe, apply pressure, advance. Okay. The hit this time, though, so here we've got our secondary lead. Look again. Lead runner at A. The pitch goes. A gets his secondary lead. This time it's going to go to the shortstop. Look how far the lead runner needs to retreat back to second base. Why? I mean, the shortstop's right in front of him. He's got to get far away. And that's such a short throw. That's only 30 feet, 40 feet max that he has to make to the bag there. So you got to get really close to second this time. Again, let's look at that big retreat. Here's everybody positioning. Defense is getting about halfway to their positions by the time he fields the ball. And so look, if you're not back there, you're dead meat. You're going to get in a pickle. Shortstop is generally going to be the most athletic on the team, going to be able to run you down or throw you out. So you're back. Number one job, stay safe. Now, shortstop's going to look you back while everybody else is finishing getting into position. He's going to try to keep you on that bag, make sure you're staying there. This is your chance to apply pressure, but you got to be a lot more careful here than when the ball went to the third baseman. Okay, then if the shortstop throws it, you better make sure he throws it. This is a great chance for the shortstop to DQ and then put the tag on, which we'll see when we cover defense. So watch him, follow the ball through, and then if you can take off, you really better know your speed. You've got to go way different than when it was at third and you had a decent lead off still. This, you're almost back on second base. So you got to be a speedster to be able to make that across the bag. Worst case, if you know you can't make it, no matter what, we're going to break hard off the bag to put that pressure on them. Maybe they throw it anyway, even though we weren't going, we made them think we're going, and then they have a wild throw and we move from there. Okay. Now let's go on to the defense. Let's take a look at defense now. Same situation, runners on second, less than 2 outs. Look at our priorities on defense in the top left over here. Remember, big overall picture for defense is preventing runs. We can't always get the out. In this case, our number one priority is to hold the runner. This is a long throw over to first when it gets hit on the left side, and we might not make that out. And even if we get that out, that puts that runner from second base to third base with still maybe only 1 out, maybe two. All right. So our number one priority is to hold that runner on second base. If we do that, then we can try for our second priority, which is getting the out at first. And if at any time we can get that runner out on second, we do that. So the first thing you got to do is talk about this before the play ever even happens, before that pitch. Check two, go one, check two, go one. Talk about who's got bags, who's got backups, all that kind of stuff. All right. Here's the pitch. The runner's going to get their secondary lead. We all need to take our prep step, as always. This hit is to third base. So these are our folks getting into position. So they haven't made it all the way there yet. Imagine the outfielders have a long way to run. Probably the pitcher hasn't made it all the way even here yet. They're probably still right here where that ball went. I think one thing as a pitcher you don't want to do is run in front of this ball, like try diving for this ball or doing something crazy. Like if it's a shot through that's going to be a clean field to your third baseman, you need to lay off. Don't interrupt the flow and the vision of the third baseman. Catcher always comes out in front of the plate and starts calling the play, of course, because they can see everything. Your first baseman gets on the bag ready for that throw, remembering that right after they catch it, they're going to have to look for a throw to first base, to third base. Second baseman gets on the inside of that bag for a potential rundown and to hold this runner on to be a threat to actually make a tag over here. If second base doesn't come to this bag, this runner can get out and out and out and out because nobody's holding him on. All right. Third baseman, your job is to field that ball and start looking this runner back. We'll cover that in a second. Shortstop is making his way behind the third baseman first for backup. Okay, and then they're going to cover this bag. Left field is making their way over to cover behind third base. Center field is going behind second base, lining themselves up for a throw back to pick this runner off. And right field is going behind the first baseman to get this throw. Look, I want to note that the catcher is not coming up the line to cover this throw to first base because if this goes wrong over here and the runner starts to advance home, nobody would be there. So the catcher needs to stay home here and let right field do the covering. And let's go to the next part. Now everybody will have finished getting in position. So notice that shortstop came to the third base bag while left field came to be the second backup to third base. And the third baseman is looking this runner back. So the first job is to check on him to see and make a decision about what you need to do here. And if you have to run that guy back, if he's dead to rights here, let's go for the out. If he's acting foolish and he's going to get a free base as soon as you throw it, then you need to run him back and we take that we held them there and we don't get the out. We did our first priority, which is hold the runner. That's okay. But if you push him all the way back to the bag, then make the throw over to third. Okay, now this guy's running, or make the throw over to first. Now this guy's running, so first base, as soon as you make that out, or as soon as you catch that ball and keep your foot planted there, you got to rip off of that bag and look over to see, I'm checking this runner, I'm listening to my teammates for a throw over to third after this guy to try to tag this, to lay a tag down on the lead runner. If he's already there, do not make that throw. That's a throw all the way across the diamond. You really have to be sure that he's probably less than three-quarters of the way, maybe even two-thirds of the way to that bag to make sure you get that out. Know your arm. Next, we're going to look at the defense when the hit is to the shortstop instead. So still, we are blue. We are on defense. We got to hold the runner, then try to get that out. And we got to talk about what's going to happen before the plate. That's our responsibilities. Pitch comes, they get their secondary lead. Now the hit goes to the shortstop. Generally, everybody's taking the same positions here, especially when it comes to all the backup positions. Yeah. Look at all the outfielders getting to their spots. They're still on their way, including their pitcher. The difference here is third base actually comes straight to the bag in case there's going to be a potential rundown with this player or if this lead runner takes off after this. All right, but remember on offense, this lead runner has to get back really close to the bag. So shortstop might not have a play here unless this guy's acting pretty crazy. Then it's going to be on the shortstop to make that decision. So first, they got to field it, and everybody's got to do their positions. So the shortstop is going to look that guy back and run him back if he has to. Right? He's really close, so he should only have to take a couple of steps to push him back and then make the throw. The whole point of all this is to get this runner so close to second base that he's got to run the entire distance. That lets us make a throw from first and get the out. Okay, that's why we're pushing him back. Second, it pushes their body momentum in the backward direction instead of toward third base. So we at least stop them from getting up to full speed because then we'll never get them out. So ideally, we make them stop or we continue pushing them back as we make the throw. Now, here's the cool part for shortstop. Who knows how close you are to this guy and how far this guy is off? We know he wants to go as soon as you throw. So this is a chance we either make the throw or we deke him, right? Decoy. We fake him out. We pretend like we're going to throw, and he steps off, especially if we have a lot of time left on that runner to first base. We might even be able to fake one, pump it, see if we get him or not. Or we like pump and run straight at him and try to get that out. If we know there's a couple ways you can do this. If you know there's no chance, maybe you bobbled, maybe it was a weak grounder or the batter runner B is so fast, you're not going to get that guy out. Always pump fake. Always do the deke. If you're not going to make the throw, always pretend to make the throw because you never know when the runners are going to make a mistake. So let's say you make the throw, then it goes usual. The first baseman is going to look to see if he needs to throw over. But look, if we push that guy back, look at where he starts here compared to when he was at third base. We have a much better chance at keeping this guy at second or getting him out on a throw to third. And look how left field is now perfectly set up. So right field should have been maybe down here a little more to back the throw from shortstop. And then left field is perfectly set up to back up the throw from third base. That's the play of the week, you guys. Check two, go one. We'll see you at practice.